My name is Jeff Morgan. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I want to discuss an article that I just saw online that actually shocks me. It's called West Virginia State Police Investigating Fraud Scheme Tied to Viral Whittaker Family. And this came out by the West Virginia News Report, September 15th, 2025. It's a very short article to read, so I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit of it here, and I'm going to comment on it at the same time. The West Virginia State Police Beckley Detachment is asking for public assistance in a fraud investigation connected to the well-known Whittaker family of Raleigh County. Troopers said the case involves money and merchandise allegedly sent to the family through two men identified as 41-year-old Lawrence, quote, Eric Carroll of Georgia and 41-year-old John, quote, Patrick Rourke of Odd, West Virginia. Authorities are seeking information from anyone who may have sent money or goods to either suspect or to others claiming to represent the Whittaker family. Corporal Gilkison of the Beckley Detachment is leading the investigation and can be contacted at 304-256-6700. The Whittaker family, residents of Odd in Raleigh County, has gained widespread attention on social media, including a viral feature on the YouTube channel Soft White Underbelly, which has been viewed more than 45 million times. So I've known Eric Carroll for about 5 years right now. We met at a CPAC event. I think it was in 2020. I'm not exactly positive, but I think it was 2020. We knew of each other. It was the first time that we actually met each other. We were sitting pretty close to each other. He was able to obtain a booth on Radio Row for Dad Talk Today. Dad Talk Today was a broadcast that Eric was doing, just talking about the issue of fatherlessness. And he also defended fathers as being vitally important in the lives of children. He had gone through a couple of divorces, and for him, he could not see one of his children, one or more of his children. It's gone back and forth a few times, but due to false accusations and various things like that. The family court structure often is very biased against men. Sometimes it's against women, but most often it's against men. So that's how we met each other. I really didn't know anything of him, but turned out that once he was given this booth on Radio Row, he asked for some help, and I'm like, absolutely. I wanted to be a participant, not merely a spectator. I was going to be a backup for him, but then I became, due to a couple of things that happened, I became the primary video recorder of the events. And we interviewed a number of legislators and potential candidates. We're not just there, but other places. I've been at other conferences throughout the states with Eric. Eric has had a great impact in what he was doing, and I appreciated Eric. Eric was always above board in all of his financial dealings. Never, ever would a sense of fraud had ever been associated with him. So when I read this article about his being investigated for fraud, the first thing I think is this is absolutely insane. And I've talked with Eric on a number of occasions about various things, because Eric actually came out of pocket himself a lot of times in order for us to go to events and stuff like that. Eric is not an accountant, I'll tell you right now, but everything that he's done, he's tried to be right above board. He's actually hired accountants or was in the process of hiring accountants just to make sure that things were done right. He has a gift set, a skill set that does not include accounting, so he has to have somebody help him with that. This whole idea here that somehow that Eric is involved with a fraud with the Whittaker family is insane. It's complete insanity. In fact, I'm going to call the police afterwards because this is just insane that this would even be associated with him. Now, I do know that he was going there. I think he had a contract with Patrick Rourke and I think the Whittaker family, and the proceeds that they were getting in, I believe that they were going to split them 3 different ways. Eric was going up there. He wanted to build the Whittakers a new home. He wanted to take care of them, and actually he did a lot to help them in a number of ways. He was paying for other people to come and join him at times. I wasn't able to get up there because of my work schedule right now, or I would have gone up there on my own. I wanted to donate to him to help the Whittaker family as well. I just wasn't able to do it at this time around. The idea that Eric was somehow illicitly profiting or involved in a fraud scheme is insanity at best. I've heard stories about Patrick Rourke. I believe he's got a rap sheet that's more than a couple of sentences long. Let's just keep it at that. And of course, there are the things with some of the members of the Whittaker family that are not completely above board either. With regard to Eric, I'll tell you that personally, I'm 100% behind him. I know that he's done well. I know he's the son of a pastor. Now, one of the reasons that Eric did not follow into the ministry, because at one time he was going to go into the ministry, but he saw the way that his father as a pastor served people, helped people, and yet was later on kind of abused by people. He felt like, here's my dad giving and giving and giving to people, sometimes at the expense of his own family and to his own son. And he saw the way that his dad had been treated, so he said, you know what, I want to stay away from this. These church people, sometimes they abuse people. And that's really what happened with him, is that he decided not to go into the ministry. He was planning to go into the ministry, but then he walked away from that aspect of it. And yet he's talked in the past about his father passing and just the influence that he had and so on. And to some degree, Eric is nevertheless still walking in his father's footsteps. Even though he's not in the ministry as people know that the ministry, he's still doing the same things that his father would do. He's giving and he's giving and he's giving. Several years ago, there was a guy who came out and made a slanderous video about Eric. Actually, there were more than a few. And I had been with Eric. I went to events with him. I spoke with him sometimes daily, sometimes weekly. We had a gap in there of a couple of years that we just reestablished earlier this year, I believe it was, that he took it hard, some of the things that were being said about him. And it was very difficult on a family. And, we were able to get back together. We probably have spent, I don't know how many hours we've spent on the phone this year, talking about things, plans that he had to do, talking about going up to Idaho when he was at it wasn't the John Mast trial, it was the trial of John Mast's wife, who was complicit in the murder of John Mast, because John was trying to see his children. John was a great person. I never got to meet John personally, but I did meet his family. The family was outstanding and great. And Eric was able to broadcast from inside the courtroom. After that, he came back and he was telling me about the Whittaker family. And people were asking me, what's Eric doing with the Whittakers? What is Eric doing with the Whittakers? He talked to me about it prior to going up there, and basically he told me about that this was the family that was very famous. And he mentioned the soft white underbelly that I had mentioned here, how they became famous and pretty viral. And he was going up there. He was invited to come up and use his platform to start speaking on their behalf. And it turned out at the beginning, Eric wanted to be completely off the camera. He did not want to have his face associated with it because he wanted to have the focus on the people, not on himself. And after a little bit of time, I don't exactly know what the time frame was, he was involved in some of the videos, and then he became very much of a feature of the videos. The money that was being raised through other people and through the YouTube ads or the YouTube revenues that were being generated were being split in 3 different ways, as I mentioned. And I have not seen this contract, but I do know that from what I've heard other people have said, and also Eric as well, and other people that are close to Eric, there's a contract out there that had a 3-way split. He would get a part of it, and then Patrick Rohr would get a part of it, and then the family would get a part of it. And the family that was going to get a part of it, I don't think that they were quite the most upright characters, but I've never met them, so maybe that's a judgment call that I can't make, but that's what I hear. It sounds like there was some abuse going on by these people that were going to be receiving the funds. And Patrick, as I mentioned, Patrick Rohr, again, I have not seen the records, but I've been told by a couple of people that there is a rap sheet on Patrick. Eric told me some of the frustrations that he had because he wanted everything to be above board. He does not know how to lie. He does not want to lie. He wants to tell the truth. He wants to be transparent. And sometimes in today's environment, being truthful and being transparent gets used against you. And I believe this is what's happening right now in this situation. So once again, with regard to this article is astounding to me that somehow the West Virginia State Police are investigating a fraud scheme tied to viral Whittaker family, and that Eric would be mentioned in this is absurd. It's insane. I already know. I don't even have to look at the stuff to know that this is not true. With regard to the finances, like I said, he's not an accountant, but he was hiring an accountant to try to make sure that everything was done correctly. He wanted to have no whiff of any financial impropriety on what he's doing. And again, I know Eric because I've been with him. I've seen the sacrifices he's made. I've seen that he's taken losses at times in order to fulfill obligations and commitments to other people. There should be no whiff of fraud. associated with Eric. There's other things that I do know as well that I really can't comment on right now because I believe, due to the nature of the investigation going on, that it might help to compromise the investigation. But with regard to the Corporal Gilkison of the Beckley Detachment, he's leading the investigation. He can be contacted at 304-256-6700. I'm planning to call him and let him know that Eric has nothing to do with this. And for those out there in the community, whether it be, there's a number of communities that have been watching this thing. A lot of people have been watching the Whittaker family. There is nothing associated, nothing ill done that should be attributed to Eric Carroll. Eric was out there at his own time, at his own expense. If anybody profited from it, it wasn't Eric. Maybe he's made some money, but he's also lost a lot. He's come out of pocket for various things. He's tried to do whatever he could to make sure that everybody else is being taken care of. And there's been orders that he's been given to do things and not do things and everything else. Again, I can't go into that. I don't know the extent of them either. But for those who think that Eric Carroll is somehow should be tied to this fraud, this whatever, that's just not true. It's not the case. I'm willing to defend him in public 100%. I stand with Eric. I know what he was trying to do. I know some of the stuff behind the scenes that other people don't know that he has done. Eric, love you, brother, and I will stand with you in this. But the whole investigation, I'm sorry what you're going through. Sorry that we live in a society right now and in a day and age that it seems like those people that want to do good are somehow going to end up, as one person said, no good deed goes unpunished. Eric, you've done a lot of good deeds here, and it looks like a lot of your good deeds they're trying to punish you for the good that you've done. And I stand behind you 100%. Eric, again, love you, your family. I'm so sorry, praying for you and your family, for the stress that you're going under. I know that it's horrible to be falsely accused of these things and to be investigated for something you didn't do, almost as if you're being found guilty without the presumption of innocence and without even a regular trial of any sort. Again, Eric, I'll be calling this man here, this Corporal Gilkison of the Beckley Detachment, and speaking up on your behalf. So sorry that you're going through this. That's it. Again, I support Eric 100%. There's no doubt in my mind that this stuff, whatever they're trying to find to him, is just inaccurate. It's just not there. That's it. Thanks so much.
Say please, Beckley.
Yes, hey, my name's Jeff Morgan. I know that there's a Corporal Gilkison investigating Eric Carroll with regard to the Whittaker family.
Yes.
You know, I've known Eric for 5 years. I don't know what he's being investigated for, but this is insanity. I've known him. He's a very morally upright man, son of a pastor. Everything he's done, he's tried to help people. I do not know what they're trying to investigate him for or anything like that, but there is absolutely. I'm in Dallas, Texas. I've known Eric. I've traveled with him. I've been at various events with him. I've known him to take losses for people. I just wanted to say that, you know, as a person who is a friend of his, and I don't know what else going on there, but I can tell you 100%, whatever is going on out there, whatever he might be investigated for, whatever, it should be a dead end. It shouldn't even be done. And I don't know whether it's something that you have to put out for media purposes. I know that it's been horrifying for him. It's horrible to be falsely accused for these things and then to have to deal with it.
If he's been falsely accused, I'm sure that Corporal Gilkison will uncover the truth about it once his investigation's finished.
Right.
All I can do for you, sir, is take your name and number, and I can have Corporal Gilkison give you a phone call back as soon as he comes back on station, if you'd like.
Oh, that's sure.
Okay, what's your name again? I'm so sorry.
My name is Jeffrey Morgan.
Morgan.
Yeah, and
I'm. Don't forget the phone number for you, sir. Is it the?
That is correct. That is my number.
Okay, sir. I will have Corporal Gilkison get in touch with you. I believe he comes back on duty tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So I will leave him a message and ask him to call you.
Yeah. So I am from Dallas, Texas. I'll be traveling to Louisiana. I should be able to take any calls tomorrow. But like I said, I will 100% vouch for him. I've traveled throughout the country with him, and I've known the sacrifices he's done. I know he's been. He's a, you know, like I said, his father was a minister. and he's kind of walking in the footsteps of his father, but he's finding out that once again, no good deed goes unpunished.
Yes, unfortunately, that's true. Okay, well, I will have him call you tomorrow whenever he comes on duty. I hope you have a good night.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking my call. Thank you so much.
Of course. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.